Hello and welcome to the finale of 1984 Devil's Playground. I am here with the final two, which is Brian and Burks. Brian just won the final head of household. He evicted Jabbar, making Jabbar the final juror, along with the rest of our jurors, including Caleb, Luke, Jay, Brandon, and then Tyler and Paige, who will pop on at some point later. So it is now time for us to do opening statements, and then we'll get into jury questioning. Then we will do closing statements. Then we will lock in our votes, and then I will do the vote reveal. So random.org decided for Brian to get to choose who started opening statements. The opposite person will do closing statements. Brian decided to go first. So Brian, you may do your opening statements.
Okay, coming in this game, I knew challenges would not be a strong suit of mine, so I had to rely on other aspects of the game, and I have worked so hard and dedicated so much time in this game, and I made so many behind-the-scenes moves. I don't believe this game should just be judged on challenge wins. While true challenges are a part of the game is not called challenges. My strategy going in the game was to be under the radar and what some people call a floater. But I'm fine with that because floaters make it far, and I proved in the end I could win comps to get me here and get blood on my hands. There's a misconception about floating that I feel is a challenging, tightrope walking, relationship balancing, ball juggling strategy, but people don't appreciate the gameplay. But if I hadn't played like that, I would not be here, and that's a fact. Now the game moves I played, I almost got people to think I voted with them. Like when Maddie and Kevin were on the block, people thought who I wanted to think voted one way. They thought I voted that way, but I actually evicted Kevin that week. And back to week 2, I evicted Paige when people thought I voted with them. And I did not play in the veto till final 9, but that was actually a blessing in disguise because people were not seeing me as a threat and they weren't talking about me. I had good relationships with everyone and never burned any bridges. At the final 8, I was a swing vote. Tyler and Brandon both wanted to get Caleb out. The emotional side of me wanted Caleb out because he had just evicted me. I did not want to burn that bridge. It was a better move for my game to get Brandon out. But I was never targeting the game. I did not need to win comps to get this far. And I knew I had to get a win in my resume to have a shot at winning. So at final 5 with the egg challenge, I knew that was my comp to win. I was not dropping for anything. So I won that and I slayed. And this is my first org and I dedicated a lot of time. And I've even gotten right up at work and I was like, but I don't care. I've dedicated so much time to this game. I love this game for all it is. And I hope you guys can see that I played a good game. I didn't play perfect, but I played decent. So please give me your vote if you want. I respect your decision, but good luck, Burks. That's it.
Thank you, Brian. Okay, Burks, it is your turn.
When I first saw 1984 last season, I approached Michael and I asked him, why wasn't I cast? And he replied saying, you didn't apply. And I told him that I'd win season 2. I kept thinking
Burks, we cannot hear you.
I can hear him.
Oh.
I heard him.
1 second.
Should I restart or? Should I restart?
Sorry, I was on mute. Yes, you can restart.
When I first saw 1984 last season, I approached Michael and I asked him, why wasn't I cast? And he replied saying, you didn't apply. And I told him that I would win season 2. I kept thinking I'd win. And when I saw the applications open and I was picked, I thought to myself, you're 100% going to win this. And I was so wrong to think that. This game is so unbelievably hard and no one can come in saying that they know for sure they're going to win. Coming into this game, I had huge goals. I wanted to win 4 HOHs, 3 POVs, and go to the final 2 unnominated. Those were legitimate goals that I wanted for myself to accomplish. I accomplished none of them. You cannot come into this game knowing what you're going to do the entire game, especially with a season like this with takeover twists. My biggest strength in this game was my adaptability. The beginning of my game was rough. While everyone was talking to the first HOH, I was switching flights across the world. I barely had time to talk to Caleb Reed, and he nominated me for eviction. Since that moment, I stepped up my game. From the Angel's house, I formulated strong connections with Jabbar, Kevin, and Kendall. I made some allies from the Devil's house as well. After hearing the rumor that there was a pre-made alliance of Paige, Tyler, Caleb Reed, Max, and Kevin, I didn't care if that was true or not. I turned it around so that people would believe it, and I approached Jabbar and made alliance with him so that he'd use the veto on me. and I made sure that exactly happened. The competition came down to me and Jabbar, and even though knowing I could have won it, I threw it to him and he saved me with a veto. The next week, I made one of the biggest moves in the game by making the Kendall's Revenge Alliance, which consisted of me, Luke, Jabbar, Maddie, and Jay. This alliance won 65% of the competitions this season and was a huge turning point in this game. Without that alliance, this game would have been entirely different and people would not have made it as far as they did. After making this move, I had to lay low. People thought that I was bad at competitions, but in actuality, I came in second in almost half of the HOHs, and I threw every single HOH up until the final 6. I also won 1/3 of the veto competitions I competed in.
Wrap it up.
So throughout this game, I showed adaptability from start to finish. I was with the top dogs, the people winning competitions. Yeah, I was safe because I was throwing them. Then when I had to switch it up at final 8, I went to the underdogs, Tyler, Paige, and Brandon, and I flipped the game. I used the veto on Tyler, and the next week, that enabled him to get Jay out. I was very adaptable. I was nominated a few times. I always got up from it, and I always had a strong finish. I made multiple moves in this game, and I really do think I deserve to win. Good luck, Brian.
Okay, thank you both. Okay, so now it is time for the jury questions. So each juror will get to ask one question. This can be directed to one or both of the finalists. And each finalist will have about 30 seconds to answer each question. If they go a little bit over, that's fine. But if it gets extensive, I will stop you. Okay, Brandon, you are going to be first.
Hey, ladies. I would like to ask both of them, besides Burke's 2 POV wins and besides Brian's 2 HOH wins, what do you think separates your games differently?
Who's going first?
You can go first if you like, or I can go first. It don't matter.
Your choice.
Okay. What separates mine and Burke's games, we played very kind of similarly, but also very different. I was trying to make good relationships, play a good social game, and I'm pretty sure Burks was doing the same. But I've stayed loyal. Burks, I don't know. I think he was, said he was gonna be loyal to Maddie. He evicted her, but I've been loyal. I even evicted. I didn't evict Jay, even though I knew it would probably mess up my game because he was my ride or die. And I think I threw some comps in there. I did throw some comps. I didn't throw all of them because I really did try and flopped. But when I needed to turn it on and win, I won the final 5 HOH and the final 3 HOH. And I've really just played a really hard game. Burks did too, but our games were so different, but so similar.
Thank you, Brian. Okay, Burks.
So while me and Brian played similar games, I was never in danger of going home at any point in this game. I did not have to win that first veto. Up until the final 4 veto competitions, I didn't have to win anything. I played this game like a snake, and I own it. I'm sorry for anyone whose feelings I hurt, but I didn't want to waste this opportunity. I wasn't cowardly, but I wasn't dumb either. I stayed with the top dogs until it was time to strike. I socialized with the underdogs, and I took my shot. I'm sitting here because of the social connections I made, and I backstabbed people when I had to. Even despite that, I never attacked people personally. It was always game related, and they would never hate on me afterwards because I never got personal. I made the moves that I had to make, like evicting Maddie. Maddie's one of my closest friends outside this game and one of my favorite people, but I had to evict her in order for me to advance. That was a strategic move I had to make.
Thank you, Burks. Okay, next is Luke.
Okay, don't have a question yet. So, okay. The Titanic is sinking. We know Brian's gonna grab a life vest because that's what floaters do. Burks, what would you save on a sinking ship?
Could you repeat that? I didn't hear the last part.
What would you save on a sinking ship?
What would I save?
Simple as that.
Honestly, I would grab the life vest too, because here's what would happen. If someone else is trying to grab it, I would grab that life vest and save myself, because I always have to think of what I need to do to advance in this game. And if that means having to throw someone else under the bus, then so be it.
That was about to be really sad, but you saved it. Good luck.
Okay, next is Jay.
This is my question for both of you. Was there a point in the game where either one of you felt unconfident of if you guys would make it as far as you did?
Should I go first? Okay. So for me, all the time, even in my confessional chat, I was like, I don't know if I can do this. All these people are winning stuff. I can't do this. But honestly, I just had to keep pushing forward. There was always moments where I felt like I can't do this. I just had to keep fighting. I spent so much time into this game every single day. I would be giving confessionals. I would be talking to people. There were tons of moments where I felt like I wasn't gonna make it through, but I did, and I feel like the game I did had a lot to do. The game I played had a lot to do with me being here, and it wasn't just me basing things on luck.
So I can go. Okay, so at the final, Jay, I was a very paranoid person in this game, but after I survived eviction night on at the final 9, I knew I had to turn my game up. So I knew I had to turn my game up, so I did. At the final 5, I knew there was no way I was not making it here, so I can mentally prepare myself for this night because I saw that there was no way. Once all that had to happen was Luke to go at final 5, and then I was guaranteed for this spot right here. So I had to prepare myself. So I was not confident until the final 5. And then final 5, once Luke left, I knew making it here.
Okay. Next is Caleb. Caleb, are you here? Caleb, are you here?
He keeps trying to unmute you. I think he's having audio issues.
Okay. Let's see if he can pop back on. I thought I muted my Skype. There's Paige. Caleb, can you try talking?
Hello, I don't know if anyone hears me.
Caleb, yes, you can
Hello?
ask the question now.
Okay, one second. Okay, cool. Okay, you guys, you all hear me now? We're good?
Yes, we can hear you.
Awesome. Okay. First off, I want to congratulate you both on making the final 2.
Thank you.
Great job, guys. I'm so proud of you both. But anyways, so my question is, I want to know if you could compare your gameplay to a song. What song would it be and why for both of you? And that would be it, my question.
All right. Should I go first? Okay. I would compare. Oh, you can go.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay. So, my song, I'm a huge 21 Pilots fan. If you don't know 20 Pilots, you should listen to them. But my song was Polarized. My game was very under the radar, but I polarized it at the end. I demolished some comps. I knew I was making it here. Polarized is the first song that came in my head, and I was like, that kind of works. So I'm like, yeah, let's go with that.
The song I would pick would be Fight Song. So I had to fight at multiple points in this game. Week 1, I was the first person nominated this season, and yet now I hold 4 different records this season. I have the most consecutive eviction votes cast this season with 6, highest total eviction votes cast this season with 9. I'm the only house guest to survive out of 16 people. I'm the only house guest to survive multiple unanimous votes, and I'm the only person this entire season to not have a single vote to evict against them. No one ever evicted me. I survived every single time unanimously, or I got the veto used on me. I think it's about persevering, and the song, it's a motivational song, so I persevered through all of that, and my social game really pulled through. But in the beginning, I really had to fight, and there were multiple moments where I was nominated and I had to fight to get through.
Okay, thank you guys so much for your questions. Good luck on file 2. Thank you.
Okay. Tyler's not here yet. He will be hopping on shortly. So we are going to go to Paige.
Oh, okay. So my question is, I haven't heard what other people have said, but so if somebody's already said this, let me know. My question is, what would you say is the best and worst part of the other person in the final two's game? So Brooks, what is the best and worst part about Brian? Brian, what's the best and worst part about Brooks' game?
Okay. So the best part of Brian's game, I would say, would be his under the radar strategy. I feel like people overlooked him, and that allowed him to go really deep into the game. I think that was a great asset he had, and he wasn't like myself. He wasn't in any danger from most of the game. And the worst part of Brian's game, I feel like I think Brian, while he did obviously have some surprising votes, I don't think Brian was shown to be like a real player. Like, he was playing the game, but he wasn't making those big moves until Final 5 when he won HOH, in my opinion. Whereas I feel like I had other moves in the beginning of this game that I made. So I feel like to answer the question, I think he was a bit inconsistent with his gameplay, but he was really good at being under the radar.
Brian, you're on mute.
Burks, his best thing was his ability to. It was good strategy. I don't know how people take it, but he was really making sure people who were going out the door knew that they liked him, so that he would, if he made it here, he would have a good shot to get the jury votes. But his worst part of the game, from my perspective, was his loyalty. That's what I call. He was loyal to some people, but and he even says it. He said he played as a snake, and that was like, I was loyal to the people I knew, but I also was like his big brother, so I lied to some people. Almost had people think I was with them, but his unloyalty, especially to Maddie, who was one of his close friends that he said earlier, and yeah, that's basically it.
Okay, as Tyler's still not here, we will move on to Jabbar.
Hi, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. First of all, let's cut this honesty, loyalty bull crap. When I got to the jury, pretty much the consensus were that you guys were two of the biggest snakes that entered the game. And honestly, I would definitely have to agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
I had pinpointed both of you guys really early on, but of course I want to sit next to either one of you in the end. With that being said, I don't know who I'm voting for yet. So my question to both of you guys is, between the three main aspects of the game, being physical, strategic, and social, if we could only focus on one of those three aspects of the game in regards to you and your opponent, what aspects should we look the most into, and why? And why is that aspect the reason why you should win over your opponent?
Okay. I'll begin if you don't mind, Burks. So I believe Burks' best game, while he did have a good social game, it was his strategy. He knew that what to do and when to make moves and when not to make them. Because if he had made a move at the wrong time, it would have really blown up his game. And I believe my best was my social game. I was always willing to talk to everyone. I never burned any bridges. Even when Caleb had evicted me at Final 9, I knew that I would work with him, and I wanted to work with him. And he was really like one of my closest allies after that. And my social game, I always talked to everyone. I needed to make sure people were on my side, and they were. No one targeted me. I was on the block on the night as a pawn, and I feel like my social game was really good. I was never targeted. No one ever wanted me out. And if someone were to get off the block at Final 6, I feel like Burks. If Tyler would have got off the blocks at Final 6, I feel like Burks probably would have left.
So Jabbar, you're saying that if we had to focus on one aspect and compare it to the other person, right? And why you
Absolutely.
Okay, so I would definitely say strategic. Like Brian said, my timing was always key. If I made a move at the wrong time, then I would not be sitting here. During the beginning of the game, after making that big alliance that controlled the game, I had to lay low. And then I knew at Final 9, I could have easily jumped to Paige, Brandon, and Tyler, but I needed Paige out because she was a beast. She won 2/3 of the vetoes that she competed in, and because of that, I really needed her to be out of the house. I considered her a huge threat, and I felt like she would have won if she went to the jury. That's why I waited until the final 8 instead to join Tyler and Brandon and use the veto on Tyler. This move helped me because at final 7, I threw that HOH to Tyler, so he was able to take out Jay, who was another huge likable person and who would have a lot of jury votes. So my timing in this game. So to answer your question, I feel like you would. I would pick the strategic, the mental aspect of this game because I feel like my moves were always well timed. At final 4, I evicted another huge jury threat in Caleb Reynolds. So definitely, I would say the mental aspect of this game if you had to compare.
Okay, so Tyler's still not here. I'm going to ask one question to both of you to try to stall until he gets here. What was your favorite part of this game?
I went first on that one, so you want to go first?
Okay, I'll go first. My favorite part was, like, honestly, maybe some people might not believe it, but I honestly loved getting to know all of you. Most of you I hadn't met before this game, or I had very minimal interaction with this. I honestly loved this cast. It was a fun cast. Everyone was really open about any conversation we were having. I loved the calls. Honestly, my favorite part was getting to know everyone, and I loved playing the game. But you're all, honestly, I respect you all as people, and I loved playing this game with you all.
Okay, and Brian, I'll let you answer.
My favorite part was, honestly, I love playing the game. We're all super fans of Big Brother. That's why we're here. We all dream of being on the show one day, and this is our little outlet to play it. So, and this is my first org, so I really had a fun experience no matter what happens. I enjoyed every second of it. It was excruciating and mentally draining, but I love it all. So, and I love all you guys no matter what happens, but I really love playing, and I'm just so happy.
Okay, our last question will come from Tyler, so you may ask the question. Tyler.
Ah, fuck, I'm muted. Okay. Okay, wait, so I can ask one question, right? To a jury?
You may ask one question to one or both of the finalists.
Okay, so I have a question for Brian. So I'm pretty sure 90% of us thinks that you guys played nearly an identical game. So why should I vote for you over Burks when Burks was loyal to me and you weren't?
I was loyal to the people I was with. I was always loyal to Jay. I stuck with him from early on. You should vote for me because I've made moves. I've got people to think that I was voted with them, like the Page vote week 2. Well, I wanted to think of I evicted Page. Thought I evicted Page. Well, wanted to think I evicted Caleb Reed. Thought I evicted Caleb Reed. I'm pretty sure no one found out. I kept that locked. Same thing with the Maddie and Kevin vote. And also at the final 8, I was a swing vote. You and Burks were both campaigning to try to get Caleb out the door. And emotionally, I wanted him out. But for my game, for the game, and for me to make it far, and because I wanted him out emotionally because he had just evicted me prior, but it was not smart for me to get him out at that time. So I think that's why you should vote for me.
Okay. Thank you, final 2. Thank you, jurors. So now it is time for our closing statements before we lock in our votes. So I will give each of the final 2 minutes for their closing statement, and then we will vote. So, Burks, you are first.
All right. I put my heart and soul into this game, and even though this was a very passionate cast, I felt I was one of the most passionate people about this game. My game revolved around adaptability. There were 16 players in this cast. I worked with almost every single one at one or another point in this game. I made the biggest alliance, the most dominant alliance in the season. I vetoed the underdog of the season and casted the sole vote to evict the biggest jury threat. Those are 3 huge moves I made, yet people still overlooked me and still underestimated me to the point where I was never a target. I feel like it's huge if you can make moves and still not be a target, and I was the only person to never receive any votes to evict. Being able to flip at the final 8 was a testament to my social game. Even though I had evicted Tyler 2 times beforehand against Heather and Kevin, we were still able to work together, and I was able to throw the HOH to him, and we were able to get out Jay together. After my first nomination, I went 32 days without touching the block. That is the longest time period someone has went in this game between their first nomination and second nomination. And this was because of my social game. Those 32 days, I worked effortlessly to to make sure that I would not be touching the block. I won 1/3 of the vetoes I played in, and I threw multiple HOHs to establish trust and get as less blood on my hands as possible. When I needed to get my blood on my hands, I did just that. Even though people caught on to my game, I received no votes at all. And I'm the only one this season to accomplish that. I honestly want to thank production and all of you for a great season. I had a blast playing with all of you, and I have loved every minute of this. I do believe I played the best game, but vote with your gut. And either way, I love you and respect all of you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much, Burks. Okay, Brian, take us away.
So I had so much fun this season. I played a really good game. Burks was adaptable, and I agree with that, but I feel like I was too. I was able to have power in the game, even though I didn't get power till the final 5. I had power at the final 8 with I was a swing vote. I had power. I made moves. It's part of Big Brother, guys. Lying to you. We signed up for the game. You know lying's gonna happen. Big Brother is all about it. And if you don't, you should know people are gonna do it to you, and you should be aware of it. And that's basically what I tried. I lied, but I feel like I did pretty good. People believe me. That was my whole game. And okay, maybe I was a snake, and Burks was too. So it is what it is. We can own it. Like, we made final 2, and now we're here. But I've made moves to. I wanted to make the vote tie week 2. That's why I evicted Paige. I knew she wasn't going home, but I wanted Luke to force to break the tie. And he could be mad at that, but that was part of my game. In week 8, I flipped the vote. I was never targeted. I was only on the block twice. No one ever wanted to get me out. Only reason people voted me at final 9 is because Tyler had a closer ally in Paige, and Caleb had just made a faux pas with Caleb. We mended that bridge, and I really like Caleb, and we started working together. And unfortunately, he could not be with me right here, right now, which is at the final 5 is what I wanted to happen, but I couldn't get it done. But I feel I played a decent game, not a perfect game, but I've flown under the radar. And if you want to call me a floater, that's fine. But floaters can win this game. It's misconception. It's a tightrope walking, relationship balancing game, because any wrong move, you can get called out and get voted out, just like Brandon did in last season. I'm sorry, Brandon, but that's just what I gotta say. Good luck, Burks. I love you all, no matter how this plays out. That's it.
Thank you very much. Okay, it is now time to lock in our votes. When I call your name, you will send me the vote for the person you want to win 1984. You are voting for the person you want to represent this season. All the hard work you guys put in, 47 days, you are voting for a winner. When I call your name, you will send me your vote, and it will be locked in. First up, when I call your name, you may also give one brief statement to the final 2 without revealing who your vote was for. We're going to go in the order that of eviction. So Paige, you are first.
Wait, I zoned out. So you said it's a vote for winner, right?
Win, yes.
Good luck, both of you. I have nothing to say.
Okay, Paige's vote is locked. Brandon, you are next.
I really came in here thinking one way, but after this speech, it's like the whole speech, I've changed my vote. Thank you. Good luck. Love y'all.
Okay, Brandon's vote is locked. Next vote, Jay, you are next. I'm trying to mute my Skype. I'm so sorry.
I'm voting for the person that I think did the best in the category that I care about the most.
Jay's vote is locked. Tyler is next.
I'm voting for the person who I personally think played a better game. Even though I feel like you both played pretty similar games, I genuinely think that one of you deserves it over the other. Yeah.
Okay, Tyler's vote is locked. Luke, you are next.
Let's learn the difference between a floater and a coaster. Just a thought.
Okay, Luke's vote is locked. Caleb.
I just want to say congrats to both of you. You guys are both amazing people, and you'll both be great winners. But I think I'm voting for this person who I thought had the better answers to their questions. So thank you guys.
Okay, Caleb's vote is locked. Last but certainly not least, Jabbar.
Okay, so I've been taking notes on everything you guys have been saying. And I still don't know. I don't know.
Okay. Jabbar's vote is officially locked. All the votes are locked. Let me gather them all so I can get them ready. Okay. Okay. It's now time. I'm going to go on cam and reveal the vote. Here we go. Okay. You want to see your name. This is for a winner. Are we ready? After a long season, thank you guys so much. It's time for the vote. You need 4 votes to win. Paige has casted her vote for Burks. 1 vote Burks.
Thank you.
Brandon has cast his vote for Burks. That's 2 votes for Burks. Jay has casted his vote for Brian. 2 votes Burks, 1 vote Brian. Tyler has cast his vote for Burks. That is 3 votes Burks, 1 vote Brian. You need 4 votes to win. Luke has voted for the winner of 1984 Devil's Playground. Congratulations, Burke.
Thank you guys so much. Oh my god.
For the record,
Oh my god.
Reynolds voted for Burks. Jabbar voted for Burks. So Burks won 6-1.
Thank you guys so much. Brian, thank you for taking me to the final 2. Oh my god. I don't even know what to say. Thank you all so much. Oh my god.
Congratulations to Burke. Congratulations to Brian as well. It was a great game for everybody. This was a great season. So now I am going to add everybody I'm going to add the finalists as well as the pre-jury into the jury chat so we can start our reunion. So thank you.
Thank you.